What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ravi Wadden, and in today's video, I want to talk about an awesome lease deal that we have on DriveMatch.com on a 2024 Toyota Tacoma SR5, which can be had for just $295 a month. And if you do a one-pay lease on this particular truck, you can lower your monthly payment even more. So what we'll do in this video is we'll go to DriveMatch.com and we'll look at this lease deal in detail. We'll look at what the mileage allowance is, what the eligible rebates are that you may qualify for, what's the least amount of money that you can put down. We'll look at all of the details, including the residual value. And then in the second part of this video, what we'll do is we'll run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this Toyota Tacoma, and I want to show you why this Tacoma is a good lease deal in terms of value. Because just because a particular car, has a monthly payment of a certain amount doesn't mean it's a good deal in terms of value. But I'll show you using my 1.25% rule why this is a good value. And then at the end of this video, what we'll do is we'll look at the finance payments on this truck and we'll compare them to the monthly lease payments. And I'll show you again why leasing this particular truck makes a lot of financial sense over financing or buying this truck outright. So if that sounds good to you, please be sure to like this video and please be sure to follow or subscribe. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the computer behind me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on DriveMatch.com. And now, as you can see, we have multiple Toyota Tacomas available. We have this one here, we have this 2024 SR available, and then we have this one here, which is a 2024 Toyota Tacoma SR5. And let me just try to zoom in on this. And this is the truck that we're going to study in detail in this video. Maybe not say study, but let's say we'll analyze this lease deal in detail in this video. Now, as you can see, this truck is going for just $295 a month, and you will have to pay sales tax on that monthly payment. And it just requires $3,000 due at signing. And this $3,000 that's due at signing, if I zoom in, you'll see it includes your first month's payment, all dealer fees, all vendor fees, state registration fees, and your acquisition fees. So with just $3,000, that's your total due out of pocket, not a penny more than that. And this is a 24-month lease. Now, as you can see, the MSRP on this particular truck is roughly $44,000. And the discount that we've negotiated on your behalf is 8.2%, which is phenomenal. The mileage allowance on this particular lease is 12,000 miles a year. And you can do 10 or 15,000 miles a year, or you can adjust this mileage if you need to. And I'll show you how to do that. And this vehicle is located in California. Now, in a lot of cases, when the vehicle is located in California, we're able to send it or ship it out of California. But in this particular case, this lease deal is available for only residents of California. So for those of you that are outside of California, I do apologize. But if you were interested in this particular truck, because it is a fantastic lease deal, all you would do is hit Customize Lease Deal. And that's going to open up some new windows for you here on the right-hand side. Now, what you can do is that you can choose your lease term here. It defaults to 24 and 12 because that is the best lease term. Most people don't need a 15,000 mile a year lease. And when you do the 27-month or the 33-month or 36-month, the lease isn't as favorable as it is at 24 months and 12,000 miles a year. Now, you will see that if I do 15,000 miles a year, it updates the payment to $365 a month. And if I go back to 12, the payment is $325 a month. Now, keep in mind that this payment down here does include sales tax. Now, you'll see that with DriveMatch now, you can also select eligible rebates. So if you qualify for a military rebate, you can save an additional $500. And if you have a graduate rebate, you can save an additional $500. Now, I'm going to click I don't qualify because I do not qualify. Now, another cool feature that we've added on DriveMatch.com is you can adjust your total due at signing amount. Now, in this particular lease deal, you can make this lease a true sign and drive. So you can do nothing due at signing. I mean, you can roll all your first month's payment, all registration fees, all taxes, everything into the monthly payment. And as you can see, it increases the monthly payment to $469 a month. So the effective payment at $469 a month is a fantastic deal, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll show you why using my 1.25% rule of leasing. Now, A lot of you may be wondering how to make this a one-pay lease. Now, as DriveMatch is built today, we don't have the capability of doing one-pay leases or showing one-pay leases. We're working on adding that feature. But if you wanted a one-pay lease, what you would do is just, adjust your terms. You would add to cart, view breakdown, I don't know why it's not saying unable to proceed. Let's just see. Let me change this to like 1,000 and see if I'm able to proceed. Okay. I changed that due at signing amount to $1,000 and I was able to proceed. I don't know if that's something wrong with the website or what the reasoning is, but we will get that fixed. So we are beta testing this website in real time. So the selected term here on this page, you just want to review your lease. It's a 24-month lease, 12,000 miles a year, and the residual value for this Toyota Tacoma, as you can see, is 84%, which is fantastic, and that's what allows these Tacomas, to lease so well. And you also see that the buyout amount or the residual value is $37,000. Now, what that means is that for roughly $37,000, you have the option to buy this Toyota Tacoma at the end of the lease term. Now, does it always make sense to buy your lease at the end of the term? No, it doesn't always make sense. But what you would do in this scenario is, as your lease is approaching its maturity date, which as you can see here is September 2026, if we were to lease it today, I would ask myself, hey, what are Toyota Tacoma selling for on the open market? Or and if they're selling for more than $37,000, then hey, I potentially have equity in my lease, and then it could make sense to buy the lease. It could make sense to take that equity and roll it into your next lease, or it could make sense to sell your lease before the lease ends and maybe pocket some money. It just depends on what you want to do in your financial situation at the time. Now, you'll also see that we have additional information here, including the disposition fee, which you'd have to pay if you were turning this truck in, and this is quite common with all manufacturers. And then you'll see that the post-tax monthly payment is $421 a month. Due to dealer is $1,000 because we had to adjust that in the last section of this video on the previous page because it wasn't allowing me to do $0 due at signing. But if you're happy with the terms of this lease, all you need to do is check these boxes here. Make sure you read them first, enter your current address, and enter your preferred contact method, and then you'd select on checkout deal. Now, if you were planning on doing a one-pay lease, the way that we have to do it now is you'd have to just go through the lease, as written, as example, and then on the back end, once you get reached out to by the vendor, in this case, it would be Auto Companion or DriveMatch itself, or even Clutch, somebody from that team will allow you to do a true sign and drive lease deal. Now let's go ahead and go back to this page because I want to run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this Toyota Tacoma to show you guys why it's such a good lease deal in terms of value. Now with the 1.25% rule of leasing, if you get a number under 1.5%, that's typically a good lease deal. That's a lease deal that I recommend to family and friends. If you're over 1.5%, leasing that particular car may not make sense. Maybe financing that particular car is the better option. Now if you get a number under 1.25%, that's what I call a great lease deal. And if you get a number at 1% or under 1%, that's an amazing lease deal in terms of value. Now, to run the 1.25% rule of leasing on this car is going to be extremely easy because we're just going to customize the deal. And then we're just going to scroll this down all the way to 0 to make it a true sign and drive. And remember, we're using 24 months at 12,000 miles a year. And the effective monthly payment with everything rolled in, remember your taxes, your due at signing amount, your first month's payment, everything's rolled in. And the effective monthly payment is $469 a month. And that makes it really, really easy to run this 1.25% rule of leasing. So all we're going to do is take the $469 a month, which is a monthly payment, and we'll divide it by the vehicle's MSRP, which is roughly $44,000. $44,000. And then what I'll do here is multiply by 100, to move the decimal point over 2 spots and convert this into a percentage. And when I do that, I get 1.06%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, anytime you're under 1.25%, that's a great lease deal. If you're under 1%, that's an amazing lease deal. And you're approaching, a 1% lease deal, which is unheard of in this current market for a non-EV or a non-plug-in hybrid. And this is on one of the most popular trucks in the history of the automotive industry, right? A Toyota Tacoma. So at 1.06%, and it's pre-negotiated, saving you time at the dealership. You don't even have to find the deal. It's available right now on DriveMatch.com. And, really quickly, I do want to say that, hey, since this deal is available in California only, hey, just because we don't have it doesn't mean that you can't try to get this deal on your own, right? So, if I was a non-DriveMatch employee, what I would do is, if this car wasn't available in Washington, but hey, you know what? I have kind of a benchmark on what to work off of. Now, our end goal is to have this car available in all states, so you don't even have to do that. But maybe you are shopping on your own, and I hope you guys get value from this video either way, and from this deal either way. Now, in this part of the video, I want to show you why it makes sense to lease this particular truck. Now, as you saw, with $0 due at signing, taxes, fees, registration rolled in, your monthly payment is $469 a month. Now, if we were to finance this same truck, using a selling price of $44,000, and let's do a loan term of 72 months, interest rate will leave at 5%, down payment 0, and then we're going to include all fees in the loan here. Let's just use the state of California here, and then we'll use a sales tax rate of 6.8%. That's fine. We can use that as an example. And if I hit calculate, you'll see that the monthly payment is $793 a month, compared to on DriveMatch, it's $469 a month. So you're paying more than $330-ish a month more if you were to finance this truck, if you bought it for its MSRP. Now, let's say you got a 10% discount. Let's say the selling price of this truck is $40,000 instead of $44,000. You'll see that the monthly payment is still $725 a month. And let's say you got a $9,000 discount, which, it's not going to happen. But I just want to show you how good of a lease deal this is. Your monthly payment is still $639 a month. Now, a lot of you are going to say, hey, Ravi, but when you finance this car, you own it. You can keep it for as long as you like. But remember, there is a buyout amount on this lease, the residual value. So if we go to add to cart, view breakdown, I just want to see the residual value, you'll see that you can buy this truck for $37,000 at the end of the lease term, should you choose to do so. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a video. If you have any questions about DriveMatch.com or about car leasing in general, or about just your next car purchase, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will be sure to get back to you. Financial knowledge is power. Please like and follow for more.